Good morning, everyone. This is Teacher Juday Bean. I'm going to discuss today the Child and Welfare Youth Code. Or otherwise known as PD 603, promulgated on December 10, 1974. There are two bases for this law. Number one is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child, in which in 1959 the the United Nations adopted a Declaration of Rights of the Child, and this is marked as the first major international consensus and fundamental principles of children's rights. Let us take note that the Philippines is a member of this, and as a member, we adhere to the principles being laid down in such declaration. What are those principles? So, these are the principles: the right to equality without distinction on account of free race, religion, and national origin. Number two, the right to special protection of the child's physical, mental, and social development. Number three, the right to name and nationality. Number four, the right to adequate nutrition, housing, and medical services. Number five, the right to special education treatment when the child is physically or mentally handicapped. Number six, the right to understanding, love by the parents and society. Number seven, the right to recreational activities and free education. Number eight, the right to be among the first to receive relief in all circumstances. Number nine, the right to protection against all forms of neglect, cruelty, and exploitation. And lastly, the right to be brought up in the spirit of understanding, tolerance, friendship among people, and universal brotherhood. Let us proceed with the second basis. The second basis is 1987 Constitution. There are several provisions in the 1987 Constitution that recognizes the rights and promotes the general welfare of the children. In connection with the first basis, unfortunately the convention was not incorporated directly to our national law. However, the rights and principles of this convention was incorporated by means of transformation of legislated laws such as civil code, family code, labor code. Our topic of the day, the Child and Youth Welfare Code, Anti-Violence Against Women and Children, or 1962, Child Protection, Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act for those children in conflicts of law, Magna Carta for Women, and Act on Prohibition of Death Penalty for minors. So let us proceed with PD 603. PD 603, the applicability of this law is to all persons below 20 years old, except those emancipated. So, when Family Code came in 1989, August 30, the age of emancipation was amended into 18. So, the 18 na ito, applicable na ito sa mga 18. So, let us proceed with the preamble of this law. The child is one of the most important asset of the nation. Every effort should be exerted to promote his welfare and enhance his opportunities for useful and happy life. So, what are the rights? So, the rights are: number one, every child is endowed with dignity, and this is primarily for the right of children to be born. If the child is already conceived, the right of the child commences, nag-start na, and the child has this right to be born. Number two, every child has the right to be a wholesome family that will provide him with love. This is basically the responsibility of the family and his parents. The right to provide the children with love and understanding, including the emotional and psychological support to the children. Number three, every child has the right to well-rounded development of his personality at the end, and he become happy and useful, active member of the society. So this third right also provides the right of the children to be given opportunity, encouragement to develop his special talents. So our society, our government already provided the children a institutions for this, the Philippine Sports Commissions, the DSWD, and some governmental that exercises intervention for the general welfare of the children. Number 4, every child has the right to be balanced diet, adequate clothing, sufficient shelter, medical attention, basic physical requirements in vigorous life. Number 5, every child has the right to be brought up in an atmosphere, morality, rectitude, enrichment of strengthening the character. Number 6, every child has the right to education, commensurate his abilities and develop his skill for improvement, his capacity to himself. This is primarily the right of the children and the responsibilities of the parents to provide. In absence of the parents, the relatives or the nearest family of the children will provide such incapability of such. The state provides the needs of the children through the SWD sa pamaagi sa intervention. So let us proceed with the 7th. Every child has the right to full opportunity, safe and wholesome recreation activities, and individual as well as social for the wholesome for his leisure hours. Number 8, the child has the right to protection against exploitation, improper influences, hazard, and etc. circumstances that affects his mental, emotional, social, and moral development. Number 9, the child has the right to live in a community and a society that can offer him an environment free from pernicious influences and conducive to promotion of health and cultivation as desirable traits. This is also pertains with the responsibility of the state also as part of the society to provide the children with an environment that can help them in developing their capabilities. So we are also responsible to provide them a healthy environment with no pollution, as well as environment that is not does not promote any form of emotional and physical harm. This is also part of it. So, number 10, every child has the right to care, assistance, protection of the state, particularly when the parents or guardians unable to provide him with his fundamental needs of growth and development. This instance, in number 10, also uh, the state takes the responsibility in case the child is abandoned, in case the child living with their family is no longer healthy for the child. So nag-i-intervene sa state. So ang mga bata nagapuyo dira na tumitira dun sa sa DSWD for a while. So every child is number 11, every child has the right to an efficient and honest government that will deepen his faith in democracy and inspire him to morality of the constituted authorities in both public and private. This is pertains to the responsibility of the state towards the children of the society. So 12, every child has the right to grow up as free individual in an atmosphere of peace, understanding, tolerance, universal brotherhood, with determination to contribute his share in the building of a better world. So every child has the right to grow up and with free to be understood not just by his family but by the community. So to be with the society, to mingle with other people. These are the rights of the children. So, as we can see, the rights of the children are being encapsulated with these basic principles. Though our convention, our laws does not automatically makes the convention as part of it, but through the efforts and diligence of our legislators, our former legislators, we were able to comply with the requirements as requirements in the declaration of the United Nations conventions through our local laws. I hope you learned something from me. Thank you and good morning.